Here.
We all please stand and join me in our pledge of allegiance and the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you pray with me? Eternal God, as we begin another session of the Carl Junction Board of Aldermen, we ask that you arouse in our hearts a hunger and thirst for justice and peace, so that our actions will be guided by your desire to secure justice and equality for every member of our community. It's in your most holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Rick. Next is approval of the agenda. Are there any comments or corrections to the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Roy Dispenza to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 6 in the affirmative with 2 absent. The agenda is approved. Next is the consent agenda, which is approval of the minutes of the previous meeting and approval of our disbursements. Any comments or corrections to the consent agenda?
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Rick Flynn to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 6 in the affirmative with 2 absent. The consent agenda is approved. Next is public forum. Does anyone wish to speak at public forum? I got to read this thing. If someone comes up, then I like to read. Okay, last call now. Last call. It's your last chance to speak. I'll give you 5 minutes. All right. Okay. No one wants to speak at public forum. Next is reports. Well, before we go into reports.
Hang on.
What?
Yeah, before you go into reports.
Yeah, before we go into reports. Is Officer Dickey here? Could you come forward, please, sir?
This was scary when the chief called me into his office.
Yeah, I get scared when he does that. I get scared when he does that too, though.
The back of the car.
Right here. Well, I come down. Okay. As you all know, Officer Dickey, after 6 years on the force, is retiring this month. And we have this little thing you can put on your desk when you get home. It says, in appreciation of Doug Dickey protecting and serving the citizens of Carl Junction from November 2015 to November 2021. And thank you for your service to Carl Junction. We certainly appreciate it, everything you've done, and we hope that you can be a part-time dispatcher for us too.
I think you got to give a speech.
Who?
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to get me.
No. I've known Dick for a long time.
Okay, now we'll go on to reports. The administration report. Are there any comments or corrections or gripes for the city administrator?
I have one change on there, and that's under the LWCF grant.
Yes.
We got an email from the state, and the feds have requested that we do a section 106 historical and architectural survey, a phase 1 survey, because the Osage Indians have requested it. So we have started collecting some estimates.
God, maybe we'll get a casino.
Funny, that was in there. Okay, that's a
Lake of the Ozarks.
Lake
I
of
know.
the Ozarks. It's a different story. But
Yeah.
anyway, we're taking getting some cost estimates on what that'll cost us. They will reimburse that cost as pre-grant award specifically, since the Osage have requested that.
Have you talked to anybody about it yet?
Yes.
In what time frame to do something like that?
As far as getting it done?
Yeah,
Get
completed.
somebody out probably December, because of the holidays, we're a little clogged up, but December, he said it'd be about a day to do it, and
Oh.
about 2 weeks to get the report.
Okay, so it's
So we
not.
get it pretty quick.
Okay, very good. Okay.
Quick question.
Yes, well done.
Okay, educate me. What all does that survey entail? Do you know?
I'd have to get the sheet from the DNR that sent us, but it's, they called it a shovel survey, so I'm not quite sure what.
To see if they're like we're disturbing any kind of ground.
Yes.
If there's any archaeological
Tribal ground.
finds within just a very short part of the soil.
Anything else? Yes, Mike.
And this is just something that we have to do towards the grant
Yes.
process. So we just decided that the grant wasn't worth it. I don't know, man. Don't want to open a can of worms. Just hope to get a grant that we don't know if we were going to get anyway.
Aren't we
I think
finalists on the
we're
grant?
finalists. I
We're
think we're in really good
finalists.
shape
And
to
they,
get the
what,
grant.
this is the wording on it was, they won't commit any funds until this is done. And the way they had it worded was, we've been selected, but they're gonna wait on this to find out.
And it's a sizable grant.
Yeah.
Yes, Rick.
So if we do the survey and then it's whatever, there are no Indians there, I guess, and they but they decide not to give us the grant, they still pay for the survey?
No,
It's the cost of doing business.
only if we are awarded the grant will it be part of the reimbursement. And it's creative bookkeeping. What they do is they move money around within the grant to cover the cost of it.
If you can read between the lines, other people that are probably not gonna get a grant, they're not gonna ask those people to do that survey.
Correct.
I don't think there would be this much follow-up if we weren't.
Because I know there's another entity out there in Ward 3 that's applying for a grant, and they have not asked them to do anything like that.
They haven't had any contact at all.
Yes,
It's very typical of when you don't get a grant.
yes.
Having all this contact afterwards makes it worth their time too.
Anything else for the city administrator? Very well, we'll go into department reports. We've got the PD report here, very extensive. Thank you, Mark. Very good. I really like that. Any comments for the chief? Put a lot of stuff in there.
Been busy Halloween.
Just busy Halloween. Yeah, I hear everybody busy Halloween, right? Yeah. Mainly in Ward 3. But. Anything else for the chief? All righty then. Let's go to Public Works. Anything for Jay? We've got a sheet here on that. Then we also have the building inspector's report. Any comments on that? As Roger noticed, the roof inspections are going down. But if you combine that with Airport Drive, they're still number one on the list of inspections. Very well then, we'll move along to committee reports. Budget and Finance, Ladonna?
Well, last meeting, I was asked to have the budget committee look at issues with like a time clock system, just that. I've talked back and forth with Mary Beth, who's talking with some of the department heads. I think it's my recommendation that rather than call the committee to meet right now, we hold off for a little bit. There is one department that could maybe still at this time benefit from some sort of system, but they would be happy with a just plain Jane, old time punch clock. Unless the committee wants to meet and go over the possibilities of investing, I thought short time, maybe we could go ahead and just have the city administrator or city clerk order just like a, inexpensive system to see then if there is actually a need for another system rather than pay the annual upkeep at this time.
Let's get a consensus from budget though. You don't have to have a meeting, just get a consensus from them. I think that'd be a good idea. I'd like to have everybody on the budget give a yay or nay on it.
Yeah. So budget committee members, would you agree with that, or do you want to go ahead and meet and look into financing a more expensive system now? Jim?
Well, I'm fine with what we have in mind.
Rick?
I concur.
Bob?
Yes. There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
And then we can still look into options, but I think this would maybe address something now. We'll see.
Anything else for budget? Yes. Mary Beth?
Don't know if you got my email that I sent out today.
No.
The auditor wants to meet.
Oh.
And tentatively schedule
3 tomorrow afternoon, if everyone can make it.
I will be leaving first thing in the morning for Clinton. And it's something I just cannot
That's okay.
redo because of ICU babies.
I'll be here.
I responded with a no to that. I won't be able to make that.
I didn't even see the one today. I've been going back and forth.
That would be good.
Do you want us to reschedule it for when you can be there? Is the auditor's gonna review their audit?
If we've got 2 of the 4 members, Jim, would you like to be present for the meeting? When the
I would
auditors,
like to be, but like I said, tomorrow is not a question.
if they could reschedule, but I won't be available till probably like next Monday.
That would be good for me.
Next week?
Anytime next week will probably be better, but I will be gone through.
I can't do Mondays.
No, Monday.
Any day but Monday.
Jim, do you have any day but Monday that you can attend?
Tuesday or Wednesday is fine.
So, any of those days.
Tuesday'd be best
Tuesday's the best,
for me.
say next Tuesday at 3, if the time is okay.
Bob, that's good. Okay.
Very good. Anything else for budget? Moving right along to code and nuisance, Rick.
Nothing at this time, sir.
Human resources, Roger.
Nothing.
Public facilities, Bob.
Nothing at this time.
Senior citizens, Roger.
Richard.
Richard, sorry, Richard.
All right. I had turned up my hearing aids, but that sounds loud to me. Just to let you know that Brittany Kane was the nutrition director at the area agency on aging, and she resigned, and so there's a new person there. And I was going to follow up today to get the name of that person. This would be ages back, Stephanie, the Stephanie person in the picture. And so I just went to their website, and it's not updated, so I don't have that name, but there will be a new person coming along the way. And the committee has talked a little bit with Steve and got a brief report in regard to improving the televisions and the other stuff there, communication stuff in the senior center. So we'll have to do some more. That's forthcoming, more detail on that.
Anything else for Richard? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Moving right along, we go to unfinished business. Bob,
I have nothing.
Rick,
No, sir.
Roger.
Nothing.
I have nothing. LaDonna,
No.
Mike,
I have nothing, sir.
Jim.
I just had a question on the storage containers for Frank Dean. Have you made any discussion or decisions on that?
Yeah, I've got them on order. Found a couple of used ones that are in really good shape. Met with BYAA and they have agreed that they will paint them to look at. Had to add on a lockbox so that it hides the padlock up underneath it, that somebody can't get in from
Right.
pair of bolt cutters.
Good.
And they were I think 4,200 is what the total was on it instead of 58.
Good.
For each one.
Yes.
Anything else, Jim?
No, sir.
Mr. Talley?
Yes, Mayor. I don't know to whom I should express my appreciation for this lovely shirt, which says City of Carl Junction, City Attorney, but I do express it.
That was
to-
the council that decided to
That's-
present you with that, yes.
Mary Beth is the only person who can correct me in this room. But I think this is my 25th year in service here as city attorney.
Wow.
And it's good to have a.
Finally get a shirt.
No more.
Took you long enough to earn it.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Lena?
No, sir.
Mary Beth?
Yes, sir.
Crystal?
No, sir.
Steve?
No, sir.
Mark? Jay? New business? Jim,
No, sir.
Mike,
I have nothing, sir.
Donna,
Nothing.
I have nothing.
Nothing.
Right?
No,
Rick,
sir. Nothing.
Mr. Talley, Lena,
Sir?
Mary Beth,
Yes, sir.
Crystal,
Yes, sir.
Steve.
Oh, here we go.
Yes, sir. Several items. First one is health insurance. We got our health insurance bids in. 4.7% increase this year, which is not bad, really. Comparatively speaking, it's single digit, that's for sure. We also requested a bid from the Myrma Health System, and they sent back 6 different programs that they have, 5 different programs that they have. They don't really match what we've got as far as benefits, so we kind of just toss those out. So it looks like with that 4.7%, $1,500 a month. Yep. Not bad at all.
Anything else?
We've got 2 RFPs that we're going to be going out for that it's been years since we did it. One of them is for trash service. We've about got it ready so we can send it out. And the other is janitorial for this building and the police department. Both of them are several years old, so it was time that we just do it again and we find out where we're at, if there's any changes. Next up, we had a meeting with some engineers yesterday concerning Fur Road, and there's some additional study work that needs to go on to figure out the access problems that we're having on Fur Road and the amount of traffic. They will be coming back to us with a proposal here in a couple of weeks to fund that. Olson Engineering, who's done our other traffic studies, will be doing it. They came back. We're trying to fine tune what we've got and bring it down to a more manageable and usable document that we can actually do improvements along Fur Road. The estimate for widening and roundabout 3 lanes, 4 roundabouts, $7.9 million.
But that's not all ours.
That's not all ours. Half of that is the county, half of it's ours, 3/4 of it is county, and 1/4 of it is airport road. Would basically have
125%.
something like
I
that.
was you just made the math teacher up here cringe.
Yeah. Half.
Of a certain
Half
section.
probably 40 and 30. 40
Yeah,
and
something
20,
like that.
40 and whatever.
Yeah.
10, yeah.
Yeah, the
And
other half was 3/4.
It actually makes sense.
And that's not, that was the
Estimate.
pie in the sky.
That was the pie in the
was
sky.
pie in the sky.
We have,
It was not the one we'll end up with.
yeah, we have pared that down, and that was part of what that meeting was, is to get it to a more manageable, hopefully manageable product. It will be January to February probably before we would see an actual report. Oh, yes, okay. And so we'll find out more on that when it comes through of what it is. Pie in the sky was the 3 lanes and 4 roundabouts. It might end up that we just end up with 3 lanes with, a center turn lane or something like that. We'll just see what we can get by. They work off of warrants for intersection is what they call it. And that's a category of accidents and the number of traffic counts that go through it and all of this. I'm not quite sure. I didn't quite understand what they were talking about when they went to warrants.
Clayton did say we don't have to have warrants. You don't have to warrant a roundabout though. You just have to warrant
Signalization.
Yeah.
He did one thing was signal at Lone Elm and Fur, $850,000 for that one intersection. And that does not include any utility relocation or ongoing maintenance. So it was quite expensive for that. We're gonna have to get a roof put on the wastewater treatment plant. It leaked in this past rain, so it's, it was how old it is. Did we decide how old it was?
We thought it was put on right after the 2003 tornado.
So it's, it leaked, so we'll be getting bids on that. Also for the health insurance, and I forgot to do this, a consensus of if we want to renew with Anthem from you guys for that 4.7%. I forgot to get that.
What's our deadline on renewal? Do we have
We
to?
need to get it back to them.
Yeah.
So our actual renewal date is January 1st.
I just didn't know if it was something we could have next meeting or if we need to do it.
Next meeting's okay. Yeah, if you have some questions or something about it.
Should we wait, put it on the agenda?
That's fine, yeah, put it on the agenda for next meeting.
Okay.
Because we should have the thing for what the surveys and studies gonna cost us next meeting too.
Yes, we should.
That should be there for next
Yeah.
meeting.
But that might, yes, we can see it all.
I think that's all I have.
But
I have
on,
a question.
but on,
On the RFP on the trash service, we made sure we included options for recycling this time, right?
Yeah, options for recycling and options for additional bins, that type of thing.
anything else? Mark? Jay? We have some guests here, I guess, today too, don't we? For these Leos?
They are,
Well, welcome, thank you, we're glad you showed up.
yeah, we're unable to have a club pretty much last year, and they kept bugging us, wanting to start again, so this is some of them, and we're gonna be helping at the breakfast again with the Lions Club like we previously were, and having the holiday bazaar in a week.
Good, it's good to see a lot of people in the audience. Need to thank Doug for that too, having people show up.
Gets a little lonely.
Yep. Is there any other business before the council?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Motion let it on now, and say by Rick Flynn that we adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 6 in the affirmative with no absent. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much for attending. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
Oh, 2 absent.